Do you know what will happen?
Thank you, guys. How you guys doing? We're gonna chat a little bit. Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. It's a quick special. We usually come and give a little bit update here and there. Let me share this show to a few platforms. First and foremost, while you guys coming here, let me share to a few groups. Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. We come to give some few updates. Check the economic pulse of the country. Just for some of you guys that are coming here, this is a political operation. We are focusing on the economics entirely. Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Let me share this show to a few platforms while you guys are trickling in here. I want to say welcome. We're going to be talking about the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. This is an impromptu, occasional update to some of our shareholders where we are, how far we intend to go, what's the deadline. Some people that have purchased shares, they have not reached out to me. They just send money to the account. I don't know you. You have to literally reach out, call me, text, whatever. I'll have to reach out to you just to make sure we process you through the system properly. I want to welcome a few of you guys that will pop in here. I'll probably be an hour or maybe two, depending on how this goes, to talk about the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, about the changes we're experiencing in Liberia and how we can organize those changes to benefit the country economically. Like I always tell you guys, man, those of us in the diaspora, we do have a tremendous responsibility to the country. And some of that responsibility calls for us putting money in the right place to lift the Liberian industry. I want to welcome most of you guys that are coming in here. Like I said, we'll be talking Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Let me just type this here just to make sure I don't misspell anything here. So we'll be talking Liberian Diaspora, Liberian Diaspora. Let me make sure I spell it right. Equity Fund. Okay. And you can go to Liberian Diaspora Equity. That's how you make sure you misspell something. Equity Fund.com. So Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund.com. Did I say just to make sure we got this thing properly right here? You know, sometimes you're doing this. I want to welcome you guys, man. Come, let's talk Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Occasionally we'll bring an update. I've been hearing some stuff out there. People say, "Oh, Mrs. Walu, what happened? You eating people money?" I'm like, the how I want to spend my life to go eat people money. The money what I want to eat, that eat though. I want to eat something way greater than that. If it comes to it, so I can work again ever in my life, then you can make that claim against me. But they just come and say, "Oh, I don't know, my people. At least in your years, they do what begging yo. All I bring poor are scared of them already." So let me see here. Go. So it's Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, just to be absolutely sure here. Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund. Because I remember you can make mistake with them. Say you make small mistake, they come after you. You always say you don't do something beating you. 578 1963 774 578 1963. Okay, thank you for popping in here. We're going to be talking to Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. We will continue to push this because we have to find a way to change the country economically. It is okay to talk politics all the time, and we believe, going back and forth against each other, claiming that this person is responsible for some of their own personal decisions. But at the end of the day, after we finish jawing, we have to find a way to put money where it is. Like I said, we have been stuck over $300,000. We got to get this thing to $400,000 so we can have an impact in the country. Like I told you guys before, our original target was $25 million. We issued 275,000 shares registered here in the state of Massachusetts and with the federal government. The deadline to purchase a share is February 28th of 2027. That's the cutoff point. At that point, we would disengage the purchase, the sale of shares. Whatever money we make at that time, a decision will be made. A board of director will be set up. We will let the shareholders know that we are going to go out there in Liberia. We will take some risk in the country. We will begin with one business operation. Hopefully, the goal is to build the Liberian Diaspora Corporation in Liberia. In fact, the official registration name in Liberia will be the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. We have a massive vision. I will try to explain that vision here for people who have not understood what I've said before. Again, you can visit the website. It's actually on the screen. Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund.com. Check it out. I mean, most of your questions will be asked there. And another thing I want you to also understand, there's a question and answer page. Everything is on that page, or you can call me directly at 774-578-1963. I just want to do a few intros. I'm not taking call yet. I will try and call you back with you calling into the show. But while you guys are coming in here, man, I want to welcome you. It's okay to talk Liberia. It's okay to talk politics. But we got to find a way to put money into Liberia and stop complaining that foreigners are controlling the Liberian market when we are not willing to organize better and come into the country and compete at a higher level so we too can create local Liberian millionaires in the country that can literally transform Harper and Zweiju, etc. Once again, you're welcome to the show. Yes, again, I want to welcome all you guys from everywhere you're coming from. Like I said, we spend a lot of time in the country, almost exclusively focused on who can be president, who controls what, who is this person that is not responsible for this, and everything in the country has to be political. And at the end of the day, what we do is we complain, oh, the Lebanese are controlling the country. No, they are not. The Lebanese are taking risks. The Lebanese are investing into areas that we will not invest into. We have no premier hotel in the country. Most recently, people are talking about, oh, we want investors to come into the country and take over Hotel Africa. Why can't the Liberian Diaspora Corporation take over Hotel Africa? Why can't the Liberian Diaspora Corporation take over Dukor Hotel? Why can't we? Why can't the Liberian Diaspora Corporation put in the cassava processing plant at Lavongina? Why can't we? Why can't the Liberian Diaspora Corporation set up a juice manufacturing operation out of Secretary in Nima County? Why can't we do that? So one of the aim of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation is for Liberians to refocus the way they think about Liberia. Liberia shouldn't just be a location that you extract from. It should be a location that we put money into in strategic areas that can grow the economy, create local entrepreneurs, additionally hone the expertise of Liberians on the ground, and if need be, bring in experts from across the globe to come into the country and help grow the economy. That's how everybody else did it. And then as we grow, we can indigenize those strategies to the Liberian condition. You know, sometimes when I sit down and I think about my people, and given the amount of things we do here in America, in Australia, in Western Europe, even some parts of Africa, but Liberians are doing well. They are in more developed economies, even in Africa. What we have not done for a long time is how we can take those expertise back to the Liberia and kind of translate them into something that we can touch, we can feel, and we can convert to hard currency. This is what we have not done. And sometimes we just sit and believe that things will happen in the country magically. It does not happen that way. And now every single time I get a chance, I love to remind Liberians that we got to put our money in Liberia in a strategic way. Now, I've said this here before, where, for example, People believe that if I put my money in Liberia, people will steal the money. People will do this. This is not true. Let me tell you why. I've done business in the country. Look, Liberia has some difficulties, like any third world country that is longing to develop. Let me tell you the problem in Liberia. The problem that we do, especially those of us from the diaspora, what we do is we go into the country, we spend 30 days, and we expect somebody who is not trained to run an operation, to be the overseer of a business that we've been there just for 30 days. And they will say, my man, I left the man my money and the man ate my money. It takes on average 3 to 5 years for you to even break even in any kind of serious business. So we have to commit. This is part of our grounded strategy. Yes, I will leave my job. I will be in Liberia. You have to be on the ground physically. You have to baby this thing. You have to change the business diaper. You have to feed that baby. That baby wakes up at night. You have to cater to it when it has malaria. If it has some form of cold, you have to cater to it. You have to take it to a clinic. You have to breathe life back into it. Sometimes it's going to lose you money. You put money back in the right places. And then over time, you immunize that baby, give it all the injection and all the vaccines to make sure that baby becomes stronger. I'm comparing that baby to a business. That's how you groom a business. And then over time, the business gets a little stronger, and a little stronger, and the baby becomes a teenager. And the big baby becomes a young adult in his 20s. And that baby become an expert, 26, 27 years old. And that baby starts to grow. Now, the baby can do its own thing. It can take care of itself. It can pay its own supporting staff. It can expand its operation. It can grow. By the time the baby turned 30, you got a massive operation going on. And then it's running with experts guiding the process. This is how we build this country. And for those of you who have bought your shares, I will continue to say thank you. And I will continue to encourage Liberian land. A share is $100 per share. You can buy up to 5,000 shares. It's up to you, whatever you can afford. One share is $100. And what we targeting here in the diaspora, we are targeting each Liberian citizen to buy on average of 10 shares. Some people buying 50 shares. Some people buying 20 shares, 30 shares. The one way ahead, if you can only afford one share, that is also welcome. But we get our target. Our target is a minimum of 1,000 shares. I mean, of $1,000, 10 shares. If you buy 10 shares, we say, well, you did well. Because we know if we raise a bunch of $1,000, we can get to a respectable number even easily. Yeah, but like I said before, our initial target was $25 million. But we have to understand the way things work. So we say, listen, even if we raise $5 million, that's somewhere to start. But if we don't raise $5 million, even if we raise $2 million, somewhere to start. Look, we send a lot of money home every year. And we know the money is not going anywhere. I was speaking to, it was actually live, the public works minister, Mr. Giddings, and they were talking about all the road construction that is happening in the country. Okay, in Liberia right now, to construct a mile, I'm not using kilometers, it's a little bit less than a mile, but I just use mile. Most of us who grew up in Liberia pre-war, we understand the concept of mile, right? So we are on that English system. We're now on the metric system. So we use mile. So a 1 mile road costs approximately $1 million. $1 million to do 1 mile of road. Out of that 1 million, approximately half of that is crushed rock. Crushed rock. So when you hear President Bouaka talking about doing 300 kilometers of road or 364 kilometers of road, I want you to think about the money that the Chinese are going to make out of this country. They come in, they bring in a rock crusher. A decent industrial rock crusher can cost you $500,000. Maybe a massive one. You don't want a massive one. You want a mobile one like you will see here in the United States that has a hitch. It attaches to a trailer and you can pull it anywhere. They run from $300,000 to around $700,000. If you get 2 or 3 in the country, and let's say you get a contract for the Southeastern Road, maybe from right now, from Tapetau into Zwedru, anybody can help me. I don't know the approximately distance from Tapetau to Zwedru, but I just say for the sake of conversation is, I don't know, 100 kilometers of road, 100 miles of road. Let's stay with miles. 100 miles of road. If we got that contract and we have the crushers ourselves to do the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, Now we can become partakers of developing Liberia, but we are still making profit for our shareholders in the process. So what we can do is we say, okay, we got 100 miles of road leaving from Tapata to Zweju. Hypothetically, I don't know about the correct thing here. I'm saying hypothetically. Anybody who know the exact mileage from Tapeta because the quota already reached the Tapeta. But let's just from Tapeta to Zweju is approximately 100 miles of road remaining between. And that road, if the Liberian Diaspora Corporation get a contract to supply the crush rock for that area, we buy 3 full crushers. Let's say we spend $2.5 million. We spend another $500,000 to set it up, transport it to the country, blah blah blah. We do all that stuff. We get that contract to supply that road, and it's this room is about 100 kilometers, 100 miles of road going into Zweju. Maybe out of that whole operation, we make a $25 million profit, for example. Now the corporation has some money in its stock. We take that money, we expand it into another operation. Now we can build a bigger road project across the country. That's how we contribute to Liberia in a substantial way. And one of the things that I love that is happening in Liberia, people don't know this, the LRA, the Liberia Revenue Agency, they are continuing to get more taxes. That means the reach of the government is going to be greater. Now we here in the diaspora, if we pump $5-10 million in the country in other business area, let's assume every year now we are paying $2-3 million into taxes. We are also contributing to taxes, but we are also building the road into Barclayville. We are supplying the crush rock. Over time, we kick the Chinese out. This is our country. You're not going to get a contract in China with that. But we cannot sit on the sideline, and we are not willing to spend $100 or even $1,000. Say, you know, Ron, let me buy 10 shares. Let's get into the country. Let's buy the crushers. I'm just using the crusher as an example. I have to say this because some people call me, oh, Dwalu, you said only crusher. Why are you investing? No, we don't know specifically yet. We have an idea of what we're going to do. But once we get back on the ground, we will say, you know what, based on all these calculations, we are going to buy the 5 fishing boats as opposed to getting the rock crushers. However, if the rock crushers can give us money very quickly, because the goal is to build a corporation, like a conglomeration of several businesses under one umbrella, which would be the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. As we get money, we expand into other businesses. We can expand into the Liberian Diaspora real estate conglomerate. For example, let's say my brother Emmanuel Jackson is in America. Emmanuel wants to build a retirement home in Cape Mount. But Emmanuel is not ready to go home yet. Mr. Jackson said, no, I'm not ready to go home yet. We have the Liberian Diaspora Corporation real estate division. You pay your money here in America. Remember now, the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, as it stands, is an American corporation with a sole intent to invest in Liberia. So we will also pay taxes here until we get to a certain level, then we can disengage. But the reason why I hitch it to an American system because I want people to trust it in the beginning, and I want trackability as well. I want everything, all the reporting to be done here in the beginning, because one of the reasons why some Liberians will hesitate to join, they will say, oh, that Liberian people think. There is no such thing as Liberian people think. This is what we do to ourselves to diminish us. If you don't want to be a part of it, I get it. But to say because our Liberian people think it's not going to work, and this is some of the things somebody just told me, somebody shamefully, and I was listening to him, and he was making sense, but I don't like it. He said, Dwalu, I see you been every day, you've been on the Liberian Diaspora team for years now, 3-4 years. You talk about it over the last 2 years, you start raising the money. If you put some white garden in front, Liberian people will invest. It is shameful. I know there are some truth to it. I don't believe the white guy know more than me. We might know the same thing because we went to the same schools. But the thing is, we tend to trust other people than we trust ourselves. Now, some people say for good reasons. Let me tell you something. The issue of scam and fraud, it happens in every single society. If you live in America, yeah, if you live in Australia, do you know how many scams go on every single day? So they claim that only somebody who don't look like you will not scam you. It's ridiculous. In fact, most recently there was a white guy out of Minnesota. He scammed a bunch of Liberians. Did anybody hear anything about it on any network? But if that was Dwalu, or let's say it was Wayfire, it would be in every Liberian mob because the goal is to tear us down. Look, Liberia will not develop if we don't put our money in Liberia. The government will do so much. Okay, yesterday I watched a video from Lofa County with what's the guy with the country diaries? I forgot his name. Emmanuel Cotto. Yeah, I think Emmanuel Cotto. Yeah, I think that's his name. Emmanuel Cotto. And there is a rest area on Lofa Highway, modern rest area. They have everything there. They have, hotel. They have everything. Beautiful rest area. It's great that our rest area is built. But now we need traffic on that road. If we put traffic on that road, the people that rent those rest area can gain some profit from renting the rest area. It's being utilized continually because we have increased the traffic uptake going to the Lofa corridor rather, and a lot more things going out there. Maybe we set up some kind of operation in Lofa County, and then more money will be poured into that corridor, more jobs created into that corridor. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation will also reap money from that corridor as well. But we believe that things supposed to happen magically. When the guys from the Middle East were building the the Royal Hotel, they took into consideration certain factors. They know Liberia what they Liberia that. If people were building Boulevard Palace Hotel, they're pumping millions of dollars into that project. And what I'm going to say also, there were no guarantees to any investment. They could have built a hotel and nobody want to go in there. It's expensive, but people still go there. And we don't control anything in Sinker. And we claim Liberia is for us. We don't control anything in Sinker. None whatsoever. In fact, if you go down Macklin Street, if you go down Wallerside, we control nothing. Can anybody, and I've been asking this for a while now, I will still ask this. Can anybody tell me, does anybody know any Liberian man in Liberia who is a true millionaire, who has no affiliation, has had no affiliation of any kind with government, did not get a start in government, started on the side. They got some decent quality Liberian that made some money into the country, and I commend those people. But it's almost difficult to get anybody outside of government who is a true millionaire or true wealthy man that has built something that he can sustain over a generation. We got to build something. And what I'm going to continue to say, hey, KP, by the way, welcome to the show, Mama. What I'm going to continue to say is, it's not to say Dwalu knows it all. This is not something I'm going to be doing myself. This is something we'll find Liberia best and brightest mind. We bring them on board. We have a board, and the board will monitor this operation. As the operation expands, we come here. We try to cannibalize some Liberians from here, and in a way where we can bring them to Liberia to incorporate them into the operations in Liberia and take advantage of their expertise that they have learned here in America to fight to build Liberian Diaspora Corporation in the country. I personally, people say it's too much. I want the first skyscraper in the country to be the Liberian Diaspora Corporation headquarters. This is possible. If we can put boot on the ground, make some profit, especially if we get a rock crushing operation going, which the government is willing to commit to us, if we can come in and become a serious bidder on this operation, we bring in the equipment, we bring them into the country, we bring in the expertise, we can become the sole rock crushers in the country. If we can supply the kind of crush rocks they're looking for, these machines can do it. Additionally, I told you guys about these fishing vessels. These fishing vessels cost nothing. They cost less than, some of them cost as low as $500,000, decent quality fishing vessels that can take up to 100 men to sea. They can go for 30 days. We built a massive cold storage somewhere in Cape right off the coast. We buy 100, 200 acre facility owned by the Liberian Diaspora Corporation because with the expectation that we are going to expand someday. I don't want you to think about the market as just the Liberian market. Our market is a 50 million people market. Our market extends into the Sierra Leoneans. Our market we extend to the Ivorians and to the Guineans because we have this connection there. So it's a 50 million people market. So when I'm thinking about, I'm not just thinking about the Liberian market. Yes, Liberians will be our focal point. This is where we're going to be based out of. But our market possibly could extend to the rest of West Africa. It could possibly be a 500 million people market. But initially, of course, Liberia is our focal point. But as we expand, we're going to expand to the sub-region, to the Mountain River region, to the Sierra Leoneans, to the Guineans, and to the Ivorians. I want Liberian Diaspora Corporation to dominate at this corridor. How are we going to do it? We need money. We got to raise money. And I will continue to ask you guys, a share is $100. Please join this effort. Believe that we too can rise to the occasion. They didn't go to different schools than we did. Yes, there will be some failures along the way. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we will falter a little bit. We will get into the country and there will be bottlenecks that we have to navigate. But this is Liberia. This is our heritage. We will navigate those corridors. And eventually, when I look on the Dew River, Majority of the people that come to Morea every single day should not be using vehicle transportation or motorcycle. We can use the Do River. We can get a ferry on the river. You can buy a beautiful ferry for $100,000 that can ferry people from downtown all the way. That river goes all the way. So in the morning, we have a dry dock somewhere all the way in Caldwell, whatever the river extends. And people come, everybody from that region, I want to come in town, they jump on the ferry in the morning. We bring them in town. Maybe we'll get two ferry. As one is leaving from that end, one is leaving from Morovia. They cross in the middle. So there is a ferry literally going every hour. Maybe one of those ferries, maybe they're taking 2,000-3,000 people to town, or they're removing people out of town. And then gradually we start building Liberian industry. This is the aim of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. And I will continue to ask Liberians, please join us. We've been stuck around 300,000 for some time. We have to go over this number. We have to continue to urge Liberians to come in and say, listen, let's do this. We send money home every year. The money is from hand to mouth. This money is not going to help us. We've been sending money literally since, I would say majority way, maybe since like 1991, 1992. But I will bring it back to 1990 when we started pouring a lot of money into the country. Our money now that going into Liberia, the last number, when we did this stuff last year, we're over 600 million. So it hovers between 400 million to about $800 million remittances that is sent to the country. This is the money that is documented. So for instance, my brother Duana go into the country, the 9,000 or 10,000 employee there, he's not declaring that. Okay. So nobody counting those. So most of the time, like for instance, when I go into Liberia, I'm taking money with me. Everybody takes money with them, real hard cash. They don't track those. So we send a whole lot more money to the country than we actually believe. For instance, somebody going, let's say, God favor me, chicks is going to Liberia. I said, me go to Liberia, but maybe carry the $1,000 for my sister, for my mom. When you get it, we'll come pick it up. Those monies are not tracked. So the money they're tracking is the money we do through the banking system, through the money transfer system. So that 400 million is actually small, or that 800 million, it could be approaching $1 billion. But what we do with that money, most of that money is hand to mouth. Hand to mouth. And I love to remind people of this. We would make around $24 billion out of the country every single year. Maybe conservatively, I would say 20 billion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Liberia's entire economy is $5 billion. We're making here in the diaspora, that includes Australia, that includes Western Europe, or most of Europe, that includes here in America, approximately $20 billion a year. The average Liberian here makes about $50,000 a year. Don't tell me about your double. I know we have this conversation all the time. I say, oh, no, double. Me, I made more than that. I know. Average means some people made up, some people made down. Then the one are in the middle. That's what they call average. So the average income here, and that's for even white Americans here, or even black Americans. In fact, black Americans on average make a little less. White Americans make around $50,000 a year. I think we fall in the category where African Americans we make approximately 45,000, between 42 to 45,000 dollars a year. But just to be on the safe side, just $50,000 a year. Now I know a lot of people here work double. I'm not counting your doubles. I know suppose oh my man, I made $200,000 last year. I made 150. I made 89,000. Yes, it's all good and well. But there are people making 32,000. People make 25,000 based on what is happening. So the average is about $50,000. I'm making this point just to get additional clarity because sometimes people will say, "Oh no, maybe I made 125,000." Great for you, and we celebrate you for that. $20 billion per year. That's the capitalization here. In fact, our purchasing power in this country is probably double that, probably 40 billion. What that means is, if for instance, let's say Kid P-Valley, let's assume she's a nurse, and let's say Kid makes $89,000 a year. Kid can buy a house that costs $400,000 a year. So she's leveraging her capacity to be able to repay. That means she can actually use way more money than she earns. So her cap is much higher than that. So our purchasing power is much greater than what we make here in America. How are we leveraging that? Can we find 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, say, you know what, let's buy some shares in the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Let's see where this goes. And somebody asked me a question the last time. When you post some question, I'll also read your question and try to answer them as well. And I will take a few phone calls when I'm done talking. I just want to talk for the first 30 minutes and I will come in and be able to cover some of the stuff you guys may have questions for. If Mr. Dwalu, somebody asked me a question, Mr. Dwalu, Why if we go to Liberia and it rains for 40 days and 40 nights, and then we decide to invest into the rest, but then all the rest poor? That's a risk. I'm not going to lie to anybody say there are anything guaranteed in the country. But let me tell you what is guaranteed. There is one thing that is guaranteed. If we do nothing, we will get nothing. So for the people who are worrying about guarantees, Amazon was not guaranteed. FedEx was never guaranteed. Apple, they failed so many times. Amazon failed so many times. We're not guaranteed. No big, massive corporation you see here today. They morphed into different entities over time. There were adjustments made. So if you want guarantees, this is not for you, because I don't give anybody guarantee. Because I say I don't know, I'll be risking a lot. I have risked thousands of dollars, even the incorporation. I pay for it. The lawyers, the CPAs, I have to pay for everything just to get this thing on track. So if it's sports today, I lost heavily. But this is not my concern. My concern is to be able to create some jobs in the country. And I had a bunch of young men from, they call them, reactions. They were like, oh, Mr. Dwalu, you just want come to the country. Ever saying, you just want to come to the country so you can cajole on and do this. You would expect those. Some people will say the weirdest thing, any kind of thing. This is normal part of the process, because we have not been made to believe anything that far surpasses our expectation can happen in Liberia. So we have to doubt. And I expect people to doubt this. I have no qualms about you doubting this. The only thing I ask people for, don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. Thank you, kid. If your 401k is risky, don't lie about it. If you got proof of anything, go ahead, and we'll be willing to give it to you. I tell anybody, you buy a share, you won't see the account, we'll give it to you. You won't. The only thing I can't lie, you see people's names, and everything is there. The problem that we're facing is because people believe that an industrial zone will be built in Liberia by magic. God will descend from the heavens and go into Sano, into Greenville, Sano County, and create jobs there. If you guys remember when, not Golden Verilium, what's those guys that planted the palm all the way in Sano? I forget the name. This massive company, they had an area the size of Barcelona. That's the area they took from that region. The area the size of Barcelona in Spain. They decided to plant a lot of palm oil out of Sano in that region. They incorporated so many cemeteries, so many villages. Our ancestral land. The government signed a contract with GVL. Thank you so much, Edward. GVL, and they took all that land out there. They invested. They spent millions of dollars to invest into the palm operation out there. Guess what? In 5 years, they started harvesting. They've made hundreds of millions of dollars out there. Now, initially, there was a lot of people stealing the people palm, but over time, they fine-tuned it. And over time, they started adjusting on it. Okay, you have massive vessels now. That vessel you saw that were running off the coast of Liberia, don't take my word for it. One of the things I do a lot of research trying to understand this thing. Go Google some of those vessels. They cost 1.5 million, some of them $2 million, $3 million. Ocean-going vessels. Imagine the Liberian Diaspora Corporation buys one for $4 million. A massive vessel like that. We buy it for $4 million. They're not brand new, they're used. No problem. We can start with a used one. The used one, you can go for 10, 15 years. You don't have to incorporate it under yourself. You can incorporate it under another ship-going operation, because you got to pay the fees for maintaining all of that. You incorporate under them. But our whole goal was to take Liberian goods to market. And then when we come about, if we come to America, we load all our boxes, all our carding, all our goods from America. If we go into China, we load all our goods from China. We get between Liberia and the West, Liberia and Asia. That's a Liberian Diaspora Corporation vessel. So when we come into Liberia, we bring in our palm oil. We bring in fruit. We bring in dry fish. We bring in a lot of export out of the country. But we are making the money. As we grow, we add in another vessel. Over time, we got 10, 15 vessels in our fleet. Now we're not just doing that. We're doing it maybe West African region. We can sit down and then we want Liberia to change. We can sit down and want Liberia to change. It is not. Let me tell you something. There is a mistake, this misconception in Liberia, right? Let me say this. Government cannot develop Liberia. I know people don't want to hear it, but I will say it. I'm not saying it because I want to say that Look to any country that not government develop the country. Look to any country that not develop. What government is a regulatory organization. This is what government is. Government got three basic tasks. Primary of which is security. The government has to provide security. The government has to build the core infrastructure in our society, and then the government has to regulate to make sure Johnson Gonganu doesn't take advantage of me. I don't take advantage of Johnson Gonganu. So it creates equitability in the system. Remember, the government got three basic responsibilities. Number one is security, the army, the police, the government responsible for that. Number two, the government will build a core infrastructure, bridges, roads, etc. Government can build a state-run institution, but most of the institutions in the country will be private owned, like AME Zion University, United Methodist University. If you live in America or Australia, most universities there are not public universities, they're private universities. Especially unless, of course, you have a socialistic state where the government covers everything, but we are not at that level yet. So if the government can do the three basic things, security primary, secondary to build a core infrastructure, on the tertiary level, the government regulates. I'm talking about the court systems, the government, EPA regulations to make sure you don't destroy the environment, to make sure you don't pollute, to make sure you follow ordinances that the city implements. Once the government do those three things, the rest of it, that we the ones supposed to do it. Almost everything else in the country falls on the shoulders of the citizens. But here's the thing. Liberian citizens are not shouldering anything major. If you're showing what I'm not talking about someone saying that we're not they're not anything major, whatever. What major are we shouldering in the country? Nothing major we are shouldering. And we got a $20 billion cap or maybe $40 billion capitalization here in the West, and we are putting no money in the country. Man, I'm going to ask you, $1,000, $500, $1,500. This is not free money. This is not charity. Somebody asked me that. This is not a charity. The way it's going to work, let's assume KP Valley buys one share. She sends the $100 into the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. I'll send her all the information. She put it in the account. I'll get an alert. I'll say, kid, you sent $100. Let me process your documentation. Kid's going to send me her full name, her date of birth, her beneficiary, their date of birth, her address, blah, 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 all that information. I ask some kid. Kid sends me that information. I log it into the system. We have the hard copy, we have an electronic version, and I have an additional copy in the safe for the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, or here in my office. So I will process kid documentation. Anybody who's board share, they receive all of this, what I'm about to tell you. I process kids documentation. I keep a copy here in the cloud. I keep one on the computer. I keep a hard copy in the safe as well. Kid gets that document. I print her certificate. I mail it to kid. In that certificate, she will have a prospectus in the package. She will have a share purchase agreement in that package. And then she will get a share certificate in the package where her beneficiary, everything listed, the amount of shares she bought, etc. Kid got one share. We go to Liberia, we invest into the rock crushing business, hypothetically speaking. We invest into the rock crushing business. Let's say in year one, the government say, when you guys are not big, we're only going to give like a 5-mile road to supply the gravel for the 5-mile road. Let's say we make $2 million. Let's say $1 million there is cost. The additional $1 million is our profit. We will take $500,000, for example. Everything I'm talking is example. We'll put it back into the business for expansion. Maybe we take another $200,000, go into reserve for contingencies, whatever you want to call it. The other $300,000, we say, keep bought one share. Everybody who bought one share will get extra $50 added to the money. So if you bought 50 shares, all the people that bought 50 shares, they will get 50 times that added to the money. So it's proportionate, right? If you buy one share, you only get $50. If you buy 50 shares, you get 50 times 50, get it added to your money. So now Kid's share is worth $150. As an example, as we grow, maybe that one share Kid bought for $100 now is worth $1,200. For example, Kid can decide after 3 years to cash out. She can say, no wrong, I don't want to be part of the team no more. They'll give me my $1,200. We give her $1,200. Of course, she's going to pay taxes. This is not up to me now. You pay taxes, whether the Liberia or the American taxes, because we are still attached to the American system. You will pay your capital gain taxes here, etc. Let's just assume kids go, whatever she does, she and the government are up to them. But we'll send her all her document and she cashing her $1,200. She don't have to stay. Everything we buy will be bought in the name of the corporation. Whatever lands we buy, if we buy another 100-acre here to do this, they will be bought through the corporation. Nothing is done. I'm a power. If, for instance, I'm not doing a good job as the CEO of the operation, the shareholders can vote me out. They can say, Dwalu, We want our percentage to increase by 10% this year, and we gave you a window to get it to the 10% increase. I'm just talking hypothetically now. You only did 2%. This is very low. We want you out. We have an elections. The shareholders can vote you out. They can put in a new CEO. They can put in a new CFO. Anybody who's a shareholder has a right, if they meet the requirements for certain position, they have a right to vie for that position and come in and run the operation. This is nobody power farm. This is for posterity. Our children can come in. You can pass it on to your children. But for me, I bought share for all my children, my wife, my children, everybody. So the point I'm trying to make is we got to build something now. Over time, we will start complaining. A share is $100 per share. You can buy up to 5,000 shares. If that way you can afford, it's up to you. Like I said, we issued 275,000 shares. This is the registered corporation in the state of Massachusetts. If you went to the Secretary of State website for the state of Massachusetts, you type in the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund Incorporated, it will pop up. So anybody can go there and you go to do anything. The goal is to build something in Liberia. Eventually, I want us to build the Liberian Diaspora University in the country. I want us to build the Liberian Diaspora Hospital. Nothing here is free. I want us to build maybe the Liberian Diaspora Bank. I want us to build the Liberian Diaspora, whatever we have to build to up the standards in the country. I want you to think about it. Over time, to have a bank in Liberia only costs you $2 million. You need $2 million in reserve, maybe $1 or $3 million, but it's just only $3 million. Imagine we have the Liberian Diaspora Bank in the country. We link it up here, let's say with Chase Manhattan Bank, or we link it up with Bank of America. It's the same kind of bank. And then if you're banking here in America, for example, we've already spoken with them. They said, well, if you guys get to that level, you want to link it up, we are willing to do this. We got a Liberian Diaspora Bank based in Liberia. Maybe we got an office in Kakatan. We got an office in Fonjima that has its own ATM. We have an operation out of somewhere in Ganta, in the major area of Buchanan. We start growing our banking sector. Now we can become lenders in the country, expanding small farms. Like my brother here, Koyazi, has a massive farm in Nima County with a palm operation. He can come to the Liberian Diaspora Bank. He said, listen, and Cole, thank you for your share purchase as well. He can say, Dwalu, I want a loan. I want to buy me 2 tractors. The tractors cost $100,000. The Liberian Diaspora Bank now willing to come in with Cole. Say, Cole, listen, we can give you the $100,000. But yes, this is our plan because we are in it to make money as well. What we are going to do is we'll give you $100,000. And instead of you charging you 25% in interest, we'll charge you the 5% interest, but the Liberian Diaspora Corporation want 20%. And we will send our experts to your farm to make sure you do everything in the column. We want 20% of your profit plus the 5%. So that way you get a little bit of wiggle room to be able to grow. So you're not fighting to pay 25, 35% interest to a bank that will strangulate my brother Cole. So Cole business can grow. Now, if Cole don't make profit, we don't get nothing. But we're only charging him 5%. We're not charging him 25% because we're trying to grow Liberian industry. So now our goal is to make Cole a millionaire. Because if we make Cole a millionaire in Nima County, Cole going to expand Nima County. And we too, we will make money too. Cole makes a lot of money. We make a lot of money. Everybody makes money. But guess what? We've just created another millionaire in Nima County. Now, what Cole is going to do is Cole going to expand his farm. Now, Cole start manufacturing in your farm. Now you get a $100,000 loan because he repaid the loan. We are willing to give Cole a $1 million loan now to expand his operation in collaboration with the Liberian Diaspora Corporation to do the Liberian Diaspora Bank. This is the vision for the Liberian Diaspora Bank, Liberian Diaspora Corporation rather. And we did reach out to the government. We told them about this. Initially, there was some agreements made, but everything stalled. Liberia, you talk, and nobody listens. But I'm not willing to give up on this. In most countries, the government will fund the initial operation. In fact, when we first started, I was willing to quit my job and bring 4 other people on board to help me travel around America, travel to Australia, travel to Europe to raise the money. I really believe we could have raised the $25 million if we got on the road. Let's say I bring somebody like Kid on board. Kid is on board. I find somebody like, Tusi come on board, Samuel, CC come on board. We come together, 5 people. We say, listen, guys, we will have events in Minnesota. There will be a hall there. We'll do a presentation. We do everything, and we get few Liberian that buy share. Next thing you know, we're in North Dakota. We're in North Carolina. We go into the crucial area. We're in Australia trying to raise this money because the initial $2 million that we were asking from the government is not free money. As we raise our $25 million, we're going to reimburse the government back the $2 million. Now we have our $23 million or maybe $20 million. Then we can begin operation that will also equally benefit the government. Every society, every single society, that's how they begin something. In fact, in most major countries, the government set aside a serious budget for the kind of operation to grow. Amazon still gets subsidies from the government. Apple, as big as they got massive subsidy. The farm subsidy, all the big thousand chicken, all the things they buy in Walmart, they get subsidies from the government because the government understands one thing. When you grow, they will get taxed. But they will get taxed in perpetuity forever and ever, amen. Forever and ever, amen. This person asked a question here. I'm going to start posting some of the questions. Said, Dwalu, is it possible to have a share in coal business instead of giving him the money as a loan? No. Obviously, that's another option. We can either have a share. We gave him the money. Yes, we will consider that, but that's down the road because we don't have enough money to do that yet. Because ultimately, that's what we want to do. So, for instance, William, that's a good question. Let's say you have a carpenter shop and you're doing everything by hand. They know you're doing it by hand. You can make enough bench or enough bed. We say, my man, they got this modeling machine that can cut all the thing for you. You will make the same bed and what they're selling in Syncor, and you're looking at that. We want to come in, we'll buy the machine, we'll train your guys on the machine, we own 40% of the business, and we will do the marketing for you. We intend to do that as well. We share in the profit, and then we grow Cole's business. That is the whole intent of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Eventually, remember that 5 things we want to achieve in the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. 5 basic tasks in Liberia. Number 1, obviously, we want to make our shareholders money. We want to make our shareholders money. It's paramount that we make the shareholders money. Number 2, we want to create thousands of jobs across the country that we control. We must control the jobs in Liberia, the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Number 3, we want to build Liberian industry. That's number 3. We want to build Liberian industry, not just in one location. Maybe we start out of Monrovia and then we expand across the country. Look from real line. Don't overlook these things. As we grow, we can tell you no wrong. From here to Kakata, we'll put a real line there. We in the government sign the contract. We'll put a real line to Kakata. Now we got making small money. Now we'll put another real line here, Banga. We stretch it here, Lofa. We wrap it around, you go Maryland. We bring it all the way down, you go Kima. We wrap the real line across the whole country. We own the real line. Now people say, oh, that's a big, it's too much. Nothing here was begun easily. If you think about the transatlantic rail line here in America, people issue share, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, these guys that build the Vanderbilts, the JP Morgans, the guys that build America, they issue shares, they sold share, they didn't have their own money. People bought $100 share, $200 share, and that's how they build these operations. And then over time, everybody benefits from it. So as we grow, so number 1, make our shareholders money. Number 2, create thousands of jobs across the country that we control. Number 3, build Liberian industry. Number 4, have economic clout in the country. I want us to control what happens in the country. Number 5, to get Liberian expertise back to the country. So that's what we intend to do. So if you want, like Brother Jackson is asking here, the number that is on the screen literally every single day, that's your Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund number. You can, let me post it back on the screen again. This number, you can use it to send it, you say the money by Zelle. And this is the number that is attached to the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. So if you went to Zelle, you type in this number, the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund will pop up. And you send out money. So you send out money, I will get an alert. It goes to the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. I want nothing attached to me whatsoever. Everything will be tracked. And then I will get an alert, and you have to call me. It will say, for instance, Emmanuel Jackson. I know Emmanuel Jackson, but let's assume I don't know Emmanuel Jackson. But just call me, say, oh, Mr. Dwalu, I send you $300. I will verify the $300. His name is attached to it. I will ask for his information. I will process him right on this computer here, and I will mail everything to him in the mail. And everybody who's bought shares, Mr. Jackson's bought a ton of shares. He also fully aware of this. He gets all his certificate in the mail. Everything is legit. You hold on to your certificate to February 28th of 2027. And that's the cutoff point. If that's what we raise. Now, one thing I want to say before I go to the phone line, some of you guys want to call in, is this. Once the share purchase period ends on February 28th of 2027. Let me say this again. The share purchase period ends on February 28th of 2027. We've been running for almost 2 years. Every time I try to remind people about this, we've been running every single time. Please, it ends on February 28th of 2027. We cannot sell you any shares anymore. I and so Opa Dwalu cannot issue share again unless the shareholders, the current shareholder, that means everybody who has bought share, they have to agree on a vote 50 plus 1. They say, Dwalu, let's assume we in Liberia, we start doing well and our share price going to $350 per share. Even though we started at 100, now it's $350 per share. And then everybody said, well, we want to be into. You can't come in. The shareholders have to vote and agree to bring on new shareholders. But here's another kicker. According to the share purchase agreement, it's in your documentation that you receive. If we issue, let's assume they say they issue more share. If we issue, let's issue another 100,000 shares for people to buy. Nobody who has not bought share will be allowed to buy share until all the current shareholders have bought and become satisfied before you can come in. So if we issue another 100,000 share and the current shareholder buy all, I mean, nobody else can come in. So if they buy 99,000 of the share, only 1,000 remain. Only that 1,000 will sell to newcomers to come into the entity. Now, you're not going to be buying it $100 anymore. You'll be buying it at the current share price. So if the current share price is $350 per share, that's where you'll be buying it at. You're not going to buy $100 anymore. I hope people understand that. So it is a great opportunity to enter. I tell people, even if you won't put 1,000 out there, $100 put it inside. At least your name inside so you can have some willpower and you vote. And another thing I want to say also, everything we vote on will be based on share. So for instance, let's say Helena and Dabe get 1 share. If we want to invest into rest production and we decide to vote on investing into rest production, Helena only get 1 vote. If you buy 10 shares, you got 10 votes. If you buy 20 shares, you get 20 votes. If you got 30 shares, you got etc. etc. The amount of share you buy, that the vote you get. So if you bought 1 share and you say no wrong, let invest the money into 5 fishing vessels. And somebody tells you no, let invest the money into a garment factory. Let build it in Bapulu or Tottenberg somewhere. What will happen is we vote. And the people that take the vote go from there. No, we don't use Cash App because Cash App has a cost to it. The money has to go in. Number 2, Cash App is easily hackable. There's a lot of fraud with Cash App. So at the end of the day, I know Liberian people, oh, do I do in my money? Me and nobody not having that talk. Put it in a bank. There are 4 ways you can send the money. 4 ways. You can use Zelle. You send the money. You can walk into any Bank of America in America. You deposit the money directly into the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. Number 3, you can send in the cashier's check. Number 4, you can wire the money to the account. I don't want money to come to me at all. I don't want cash money. I don't want seed money. I want everything to be paperwork. Yeah, go into the account that is trackable. So everybody can know exactly where. It can be she say, he say. It has to go directly into the account. So we don't use Cash App because even I use Cash App, if I have to dump, I have to pay a fee. And I'm not going to pay that fee. That fee should be paid by you. And I don't want to do that. I want to strictly link up because as we report to the state of Massachusetts, everything has to be tracked. And I want everything tracked, easily verifiable. And that's why we don't take Cash App. We don't take anything. We take cashier's check though. No cash. None whatsoever. You send cash to me, I will send it back to you. You're going to pay the postage for it. But no cash. And it's not even advisable to send cash through the mail anyways. One of my Oma, I still feel sorry for her. I think out of Oklahoma, she ended up sending cash in the mail. They both store the cash in the same city that she sent the cash out of. The people had to track it. They realized that mail never even left that post office. Her $500 she was sending, and they ended up doing that. The cashier's check, you mail it. So if you went to the website, I will send. For instance, Kate, if you took this number on the screen, I will send you all the information that you need. Just reach out to me or send me a text, or you can go on the website. It's Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, P.O. Box 13, Milford, Massachusetts. But everything is there. I can mail it to you. So let me just put where the cashier's check will go. And you got to make the cashier's check out to Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, not to Dwalu. I don't want anything attached to my name. So it goes to LDEF, For instance, LDEV PO Box 13, PO Box 13, Milford. It's on the website as well, just in case. ORD Milford, Massachusetts 01757. So that's the PO Box number. You can just go directly. You can send a cashier's check. You make the cashier's check out to Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, or you can just put LDEF. PO Box 13, Milford, Massachusetts 01757. It goes to that account. I extract it from there. I deposit it into the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. And I advise people, if you're sending stuff in the mail, make sure you put all your information in that mail, your name, your contact information, your address. When I receive it, I will call you. I will actually take a picture and I will send it back to you, and then we deposit your money, we process your document, and we send it to you. I want to take a few calls here, but I want to continue to remind you guys, we got to grow Liberia some kind of a way. And yo, thank you, man, for popping in here with me. Okay, Alfonso, ask a question. How much does a share cost? A share costs $100 for one share. You can buy one. And somebody here, I think it's Krubo Madi said, so how many years are we investing for? Your first investment, you're committed for a minimum of 3 years. You can, after 3 years, you can cash out, or you can be there for as long as you want after 3 years. It's up to you. Now, and I have to say this disclaimer. Most businesses, 3 to 5 years to even break even, but you're committed for a minimum of 3 years. Minimum of 3 years, if we get profit, let's say the year three, maybe your share price is worth 150. At 150, you invest $100, you made $50 profit. And I don't want to get anybody the illusion that overnight people are gonna be millionaire. No, this is not what this is. And I tell people this straight up. It is not an overnight millionaire thing. It's a generational thing. It's something to build from scratch. It's not something you invest today. You say, oh, like cryptocurrency. Then even the cryptocurrency took over 20 years for it to get to where it is today. This is not an overnight investment. This is not a rich scheme. This is not something you put $100 inside. You say you get $30,000. No, none of that. This is the usual way it's supposed to be done. We invest into a pepper production operation in Liberia. We bottle the pepper, we process the pepper, we ship it for the Western market, we sell it locally. We set up a juicing operation in Liberia. Instead of all our plum going to waste in Liberia, all the purple going to waste, all the oranges going to waste, we set up a juicing factory in Liberia. We process the juice, we bottle the juice, we sell it in the Liberian market. Gradually, we make 10 cents, 5 cents on each juice, and then we grow our corporation this way. So I don't want to give anybody the illusion that this is, you put your $100 today, you get $100,000 tomorrow. No, this is not what it is. And I'll be fair with everybody. Look it up. Go from there. Like I said, I will quit my job. I will be in Liberia full time to be able to grow something in the country for to be able to do this. Even my officials will be there. This is little by little. That's why I tell people, please, do not come take your retirement money, please. I say no. The thing I tell more people, don't ever put more than $5,000 inside, because even ourselves, we don't know how the thing will unfold. But what we don't want to do is not to do anything. I tell people, cap it at 5,000. If you get the money, cap it at 5,000. I one woman, but over 8,000. I said, she said, no, I want to put my thing small. It's up to you. Cap it at 5,000. Cap it at 1,000. Whatever you can afford. The goal is for us, because look, my guesstimation, and I could be wrong, somebody help me, because we don't have an official statistics here in the West. Liberians scattered in Western Europe, in America, in Australia, maybe we're 200,000 people. It could be more, but I conservatively I put it around 200,000 people. There are a few people born here, like the generational thing, but I'm counting like people that still have connection to the country. If we are what children and we're getting people now, it could be more, but I'll be conservative, maybe 200,000 people. Of those 200,000 people, uh, um, of those 200,000 people, we can get small money from them to be able to expand the operations in the country. That's what we intend to do. So if all get 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, we can grow something. And somebody just asked what's the Zelle number. The Zelle number is on the screen. It's 774-578-1963. When you type it in, make sure it says Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund. And then you can send the money. In fact, when you do it now, is that proof? Yeah. If you do it now, we'll actually get an alert on my phone and we'll say, oh, this person, John Brown, send you XYZ. Somebody said, I'll make my first contribution. Thank you very much. Look, the thing is, it's small, but one thing I want to be clear about, I tend to say this, we know, no, some people don't know. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not an overnight thing. And I'll say the third one, some people don't like it, but I'll say, you may not even enjoy this, but it's for our children. Because I want us to build the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Nothing starts overnight. The things we say, oh yeah, about the Chinese was not begun in one day and then benefited from one day. I think the Chinese self would say this. If you want to sit on a tree, you got to plant it 100 years ago. Sort of thing to speak. So we have to build something for now. Maybe our children will come over and pick it up, and then they can go from there. $1,000 is not going to kill anybody. Maybe $2,000. I tell people everything I risk. This is why we will sit around a big internet table. I would say, kid, what your thing? We think we could buy the 3 fishing vessels based on these numbers that we are wrong, and we'll publish a number. This is the analysis. This is the forecast we've come together with. We put all this stuff together. This is what we think would make profit. We believe we should invest into the rock crushing operation first. These are the profitability margin. This is what we're looking at. The shareholder can say, let's do the fishing vessels first. Yeah, the rock crushing may get enough money, but maybe the maintenance costs on this thing may be very high. Let's focus on the fishing vessels at first. And then as we grow a little bit more, we can put more money. These are all votes. We'll put more money into rock crushers. Then maybe eventually we'll build a garment factory somewhere in Bapulu. For some reason, I just love Bapulu to be my garment factory. I want to build an Amazon warehouse in Bapulu City, for example, and where we have a massive warehouse, maybe a 2 million square foot warehouse facility. The industrial machine that can sew uniform, jean, trousers, Chinese backing, they cost $5,000 for one. We take $200,000-$300,000. We buy most of the industrial machines. We start making jean trousers, Chinese kosu. They share what are wearing jean trousers. All can be made right in Liberia. Now out of Bapulu and Tubmanburg area, we get 2,000-3,000 women working out there out of that facility. We hold the money, we bring the textile in, we get a whole new industry out of there, out of Bapulu City, for example. We start expanding operation out of Kema. Maybe we'll put a brand new flour mill out of Buchanan, for example. Maybe in the southeastern portion of Liberia, we start a massive coconut oil expansion, a charcoal factory, for example. We start growing industries across the country, all under the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. This will be grown, Bokolopol. This is not an overnight thing. I don't want anybody to misconstrue this. I say this every time, and I want people to understand this. You're committed for 3 years, minimum of 3 years. It will be in the mail when you purchase a share. A list, you're committed for 3 years. This is not, you say $100 into it, then you call me. I have people call me, oh, Dwalu, we see our money sent last year. Wow, interested, but man, you read it. Wow, we don't even start yet. We're not starting until February 28th. That's the cutoff point. After February 28th, by that time, we already designed everything to see. Let's go with it. Let's go with the pepper production first. Maybe we'll go to the country. We're not investing anything. Maybe we'll see a very great investment. We'll say, you know what, wrong? Okay, I'll use my brother Cole again, for example, because I know what Cole has in the country. The Cole, the operation you got here, the palm, and you still got extra land here. Let's plant more palm. We get the Filipino market. They are willing to buy the palm. We can pre-process the palm. We can buy the machinery. We pre-process the palm, and we ship the goo to that location. All cool, you know what wrong? Let's set up a palm butter factory here. So the canned palm butter that we eat here, we set up that canned palm butter factory on Cole's farm. He and the Liberian Diaspora Corporation collaborate. Then we process the palm butter. Instead of making oil, we make it with the same palm butter that we can eat here. We can, and we set up a canning factory out of Nima County, and then we ship the can The Pampoto can how much they can sell the kid? I think that we used to buy $5. It used to be $2.50 back in the day, but I think that $5 now or $7 for one. And if you want to Pampoto in America here, if you get it, for instance, I take my own house for example. We 5. In my house here, we 6 rather. In my house here, we will call 5 can of Pampoto. So now 3 can of Pampoto if we don't want so much. Okay, $6.99. Thank you so much. $6.99 for the can of Pampoto. So if I see a can of Pampoto, maybe it costing us 99 cents to produce in Liberia. Maybe the can costs another 35 cents. Maybe packaging, shipping, all that thing. Maybe our whole thing come to like $2.50 tax, everything. Now we sell it there here in America to the vendors. Maybe we sell it to the vendors for $4 because the vendor got to get on the profit. Maybe on each can we are making $2 for each can, but we are shipping 2 million can every month. For example. Now, so we may not have to go. So now that 2 million can, because this is coal farm, maybe coal gets 60% of that. We, Liberian Diaspora Corporation, taking 40% of that. We expand the operation. We go to another person with a massive pineapple farm. We say, the orange is spoiling. We need oil pineapple, and we start a juicing operation. Then we just build a factory because the juicing, the machines are available. We don't have to do much. We bring in the machine, we build a warehouse, and then we start a juicing operation. Maybe all the coconut in the country. We take the coconut, we start making coconut oil. Then the residue from the coconut, we begin the coconut candy. Then the coconut husk we process in the coal. Now we get the extruder machines that come in. The same coal we buy at Walmart. Now we got 3 factories running in one out of the southeast with the coconut product. That's another venture we invest into. As we grow, we extract a little bit more money. Our share price grow a little bit. Then we invest into something else. So small. Somebody say in Seattle that $9.99 for 1 can. Thank you. We can bottle pepper. We can bottle airplane, for example, or we can even process the cassava leaf. We can have a massive cassava leaf processing facility out of Liberia. We package it, we compact it, and we ship it for the U.S. market. Non-perishable things that are easy. Things like, for example, the cassava leaf. We know how cassava leaf is expensive. We don't want to live in America. It's not cheap. Kitted. We can process kitted right in Liberia through the factory. We process the kitted, we send it. Rainy San Lucie in Minnesota at $5.99. You see that? So kitted, cassava leaf, even the potato green. If we get to a point where we can invest into a potato green farm, Delta Air, some of the airline coming to Liberia 3-4 times a week. We have a collaboration with them. We get our small container. They get a small airline container. In that container, we can package maybe, 2-3 tons of potato grain that we process. Quick way, they keep a certain temperature level. They ship it to the Liberian market. Then maybe we'll get a warehouse here, maybe somewhere in Minnesota, because we got the most Liberian Minnesota. Anybody can go online. For instance, go off here with me chicks, you see, no wrong with eat potato grain. He just go online, order from the Liberian Diaspora Corporation out of Minnesota. The overnight he potato grain to him, or the overnight he kitted it to him. But that kitted is being supplied out of Liberia. Now in Liberia, we just created 5,000 jobs across the country. Direct job, indirect job to the local farmer. My man, you plant better ball, we buy it from you. It's being bought by the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. We buying it. We can only become a distributor. It's another option. So all these options do exist. The only thing I want for all to know, we cannot sit down and not do anything. But it doesn't mean when we do something, everything I'm saying here will be successful. But what I can guarantee us, if we don't do nothing will come from inside. Look, let me plug this thing in. Let me take a few calls from you guys. Maybe some of you guys will have questions for us to be able to answer those questions. And let's continue to talk about this, because maybe some of you guys got different ideas for us to talk about this, because sometimes people think the whole Liberia thing, everything that government, everything that not government. I want people to know that everything that not government, we got to do our part. Call your life.
Hello?
Hi, ma.
Hey, I just want to say something. I'm watching the class Reloaded, and I really want to commend Brado for such a great initiative.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. We really appreciate you, and let's continue to talk about it. You're like hang here. My thing is, the double that we're doing in the country, we're getting older. Your body can't take the double anymore. I will give you an example. Don't tell me what you do for a living. Just call something else. Let's say you are seamstress in Minnesota, for example, right? Let's say you can do tailoring in Minnesota. You get a little small tailor shop where you can do in Minnesota, and you've been doing it for a while. It God help us with Obi the garment factory somewhere in Bapuru. I said, Mom, listen, how much you can make in Minnesota? I said, I don't want my business going, remember, $70,000, $80,000. Come to Liberia. We'll pay the scene $70,000. Come and supervise some of our young girls to be able to expand the tailoring operation, supervising, let's create a garment factory. Gradually, we start expanding because that's the only way we can transfer skill. One of the things I also incorporated into the vision is if I am in Liberia, let's say I station in Banga, I will go to Banga Community College. If there's a full university, I will go there and volunteer to teach a couple of courses. We are transferring the skills back. If we are fortunate to build a Liberian Diaspora hospital, we got so many nurses here. I don't even think we know what to do with them.
Tell me something.
They can come for sabbaticals. Yes.
We're really trying to transition back home. You know, I initially invested in EcoBank.
Yeah.
But by the time I came back and I was trying to find my cards, and EcoBank said, "Oh, the one you have is a photocopy. We need original."
Well, how are you looking?
Yeah. So I just wanted to, just comment here. But I thought I was going to be speaking to Dwalo himself.
That Dwalo you speaking to, Mama? You speaking to Dwalo?
Oh, Dwalo, hi.
How you doing, Mama?
This is a copy. The program you're running here is already done, right?
No, the program is live. I'm doing a live program right now. Maybe you're watching an old program, but we're doing one live right now on the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Yes.
Okay.
But thank you so much. Yeah.
My name is Menike Shaw Geddes.
Okay, Menike. Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Minnesota.
Thank you.
I follow you and watch you from Stanton, and then you have your own show, which nowadays I am watching you frequently.
Thank you, Mama.
So these are the things that some of us have been preaching. Some of us, we are JMB, as you can call, some of us is loyalists.
Yeah.
Now it is about time that every one of us, can put our ideas and suggestions and resources together and see how we can rebuild our country.
Okay.
I am going to Liberia December.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm working for a non-profit in this country. My whole life I've been into NGO and other stuff. I'm going back. But I have my status in non-profit and public administration.
Amen.
So yes, like you said, it is about time we go back home, we put our resources and ideas together. I will be, as time goes on, I'm going to be sending my contribution to you. I will start off with initial, just small little stuff.
Anything. Don't call it contribution. Call it investment. Call it investment. They're not contribution.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to also drop it. What I guess so to pursue, but at the end of the day, we got to start from somewhere.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Marshall. And I want to say this too. Another thing some people do, we know all don't have money. And also, James Yaga said, what's the amount the organization is looking to generate? Our initial target was $25 million. So we issued 275,000 shares. But the play what we reach, that the play will start from. If we raise under 1 million, that 1 million will start with. If we raise 500,000, that 500,000 will start with. We are currently over 300,000, but we believe we can do more. We can do more. So it's whatever we raise. But our initial target, Mr. Yeager was $25 million. That's the amount of shares we issued. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
How are you?
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, it's Dwalo and the people.
That Dwalo and the people, my man. We got to do something. Don't listen to the device behind you. Just listen to me directly.
Yeah, this is Professor Dr. Thomas Kader from New York.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. So I'm the consul general here in New York.
Okay.
And I wanted to just call and say thank you so much for the initiative. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I want Liberians in the diaspora to embrace it.
Thank you.
There are so many things you can invest in Liberia, and I will call you tomorrow.
Okay.
But
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the way.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. And somebody from Pensacola, I believe. I'm so sorry, Liberia, our home in diaspora. Yes, there are some people that have invested from home. You can invest from Liberia as well. I will talk about it, but let me take this call. Caller, you're live. Yes, ma'am, you're live.
Swallow, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Do not listen to your device in the back. Listen to me directly. Okay, all right, all right. Okay.
Swallow, can you hear me?
I can hear you, ma'am. I can hear you.
Hey, this is KP.
Oh, hey, kid, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. So, you were talking about, absolutely, I am going to invest, not only for me, but for me and my nephews and nieces. But can you hear?
I can hear you. We're listening to you.
Okay. So, you were talking about, like the hypotheticals, we're talking about probably, like, maybe you had thought about, like, quitting and then, just getting some kind of people to work with you and all of that to raise some funds for the investment.
Yeah.
Is there maybe a possibility of doing
Yes, we did in the beginning. We spent some money. So when you buy the share, we thought we'll raise enough money by now. So the share is $100, but $10 of that is actually fee. So what happened is we had an event, a block tie event. I think Mr. Jackson came. Yeah, Mr. Jackson did come to the event. They in Lowell, Massachusetts. We wanted to have it across the states, but it was so expensive and a lot of people didn't come, so we decided to stop that. And part of the telethon that we wanted to do was also to really be in person. For instance, somebody like kid, as educated as you are, we say, "Okay, man, you got to come on board. You live in Minnesota. We got to pull you from your job, but we will pay you approximately what you were making before." My target was to pay people maybe $4,000-$5,000 a month. Then we cover your expenses to travel around. That's what we needed, the initial funding. That's why we reached out to the government because, look, kids, to raise money, it costs money. To give people perspective here, in America, to raise $1, $1, yes, $1, it costs between 10 cents and 90 cents to raise $1. The newer you are, the more expensive it is to raise money. So you cannot take people from their job and not pay them, especially here in America. So we decided to do this the cheap way, where I come on, I send out flyers, I talk about it all the time, and people will buy share. It is not the most efficient way, but that's the only way we could do it, given that we don't have money to raise the money. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, I just want to say I'm all in.
Thank you.
I think this is a fantastic idea. So keep it going. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree with you, my brother Henderson. Face to face is important. One of the things that we really wanted to do was to travel from city to city and do it, like come to baby showers, go to events and do it face to face. I get it. But my brother, it costs money to do that. So if I got to come to North Carolina, it's going to cost me money, plane ticket, hotel fee. Maybe I'll not pay hotel because my people then plenty there. I can say to somebody else, that one probably call out of here. But it will be 2 or 3 people to come in to be able to do that. Even when they had the Liberian Diaspora event in Washington, D.C., we had to pay to go there. This costs money. This is not, it's not, and I get it. I love face to face, and I know that it's not on every network. If you guys remember, once in a while, I will go on Spoon to remind people. I will come here. I went on the closing arguments back in the day to remind people. So we keep highlighting it. We ask you guys, share it to people, talk about it. Whatever you want information, we will send it to you. But we cannot do anything. This is the only thing I want. It doesn't matter what we do. We can say, oh, the other person belongs to SYZ party. After all that is said and done, we got to do something in Cape Mount. We got to build something in Bombing. And that's the aim. We got to build something. And we in the diaspora, we got a greater responsibility than the people back home. Not because the people back home don't have responsibility, but we have been given much. And you know the old saying, to whom much is given, much is expected. Do you know most Liberian back home have never owned $1,000 straight up for themselves? Ever? I'm not talking about the entire life, at one point. But most people in the diaspora now own $5,000 for themselves before. So we have a lot more. So we have to build. The Chinese diaspora build their corporations. Yeah, go check it back. The Japanese, the diaspora built the corporations. He went to Singapore, the diaspora citizen. In fact, there was an entire hair hunting operation actually instituted by Lee Kuan Yew for them to go around the globe to find the diaspora citizens and incorporate them, encourage them to come back to the country to rebuild. And we here now, we got to find a way to get back in the country. If the government is not pushing aggressively to get us home, Because, you know, one of the things I believe, to get us home, you got to have certain enticements. And some of the enticements will be subsidies, one of the greatest way you can entice people. When I took my company to Liberia first, back in 2007, and when I had my operation in the country, I had a guy, um, the guy took a flatbed metal cutting device where it can cut garment. It can cut, so it's big. It's about the size of, I don't know how we describe it. It's about the size of a little bit bigger than a normal room size. So it's a flatbed, but the machine, you tap in the computer and it will cut it for you. It cut all kind of things from cloth to nyama nyama thing, and then you feed it into the thing. It automatically just so gene transfer come out. When I got to the free port of Monrovia, I also was a victim. All the cameras on my truck, they cut them all from there. The people stole most of the aluminum of this guy flatbed. They bought put a hand on a head. So OP, I spent over $200,000 for this thing. Most of the aluminum, they stole it off his thing, broke his back. So Liberians are willing to invest. And there are thousands of stories like that where Liberian went to the country, but it's not the local Liberian that I want you to blame. One of the things that I've learned after doing business in Liberia is the organization that we don't have in the country. And that's why I said the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, I cannot do it from America. Any official that I hire, you cannot do it from America. You got to be living in Liberia with me. We got to live in Liberia. We got to be in the bush. We got to be in the factories. We got to be everywhere to build it. We got to get it up to a proper location. We got to get it up to that place. And I want to continue to ask Liberian citizens globally that we got to put money together. Nobody has any intent. I understand in the past, they say, oh, the other man came with 2 hours susu. This is not a susu. This is a corporation registered in the state of Massachusetts. I have to account to the state of Massachusetts. I have to account to the federal government of the United States of America. This is an American corporation. That means you will pay capital gain tax here. I did it intentionally that way. Now, maybe in the future, it will get big. We can detach from the Americans. But in the beginning, for the sake of trust, I have to attach it to the Americans so anybody can verify. All our reporting statements will be done here in America. Yes, we'll also report in Liberia because when we register the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, that will be the name in Liberia. In Liberia, we'll also report in Liberia, but our home base will always be here in the state of Massachusetts to be able to report here as well until we get the kind of trust that Liberian will believe in this stuff. That's why I tell people, I'm not asking you for 5,000, 10,000, even though some people have invested. If I'm not mistaken, I think I get more than 17, 18 people that invested 5,000 or more. So I have a few people, a lot of people, 1,500, 1,500. My target is $1,000. And another thing that I forget to say, you don't have to put all the $1,000 one time. I'll give you an example. Let's say K wants to buy 10 shares. And K says, Opa, I'll get $1,000, but I can get $100 every month. I'll be sending it. A lot of people are doing that. We log it into the system, so we'll pull Charles A. Woods' name in the system, all information, and then we'll in the note section we'll write Mr. Woods wants to buy 10 shares, but he only has bought 2. He's explained that he'll be sending $100 every month. So we don't call you, we don't remind you, we don't do nothing to you. Every time you're ready, you send it. When you send it, we eye a share up. When you send it, we eye a share. When you reach your where some people say they want 1,000 shares, you reach the 500, say, oh, do I do you print my certificate? I want, we'll stop to it. That's okay as well. We print your certificate, we send it to you. They won't wait ill. So nobody is giving you anything more than they're supposed to give you. Asking you for anything. This is a investment. This is not a contribution. We are for-profit operation. Eventually, like I said, I want us one day to build a Liberian Diaspora bank in the country. I want us to build a Liberian Diaspora hospital. Maybe someday, God is so gracious, we build a Liberian Diaspora university in the country where we can truly transfer skills in the country and set a new standard that can become a model for the country. Look, let me tell you something. It is okay to claim that Liberians back home are not doing the right thing. But what is not okay is for us to be dormant and not show them through action what the right thing looks like. If we tell them, say there is no customer service, let's set up a Liberian Diaspora bank and let's train proper customer service personnel to be able to do that. Let's do that. Let's set up the Liberian Diaspora Hospital and let's show Liberia what it means to be a nurse, what it means to be a doctor, what a proper hospital is supposed to look like. Let's set up a Liberia fishing industry, and let's show our young men what work ethic is, what it means to get paid on time. Instead of waiting 30 days to get paid, let's pay them bi-weekly. Let them be able to get money in the hand, and let's pay them a decent wage. Maybe a decent wage for me in Liberia will be $500. That would be considered a decent wage for me to begin with, given our society. Now, obviously, I want you to make more, but I have to be realistic. As we make more, we pay them more. Call your live. Your name, where you calling from?
Hello?
How you doing?
Oh, is it your daughter?
Mr. Duarte, we're live here on the Class Reloaded with the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund.
Oh, this Jordan, I'm calling from New York.
Hey, Mr. Domba, welcome, sir.
All right. I just want to find out. I say you got something for you, but I haven't done it. But my daughter was asking me if she lives in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for her to buy a share too?
Yes, a lot of people buy share from Liberia. I think I have now a lot, but maybe like 5 people that have bought share from Liberia. This is how you do it. Send you her father and you're living here. Okay, she can send the money to you, or you can pay for her. A lot of people pay for their relative here. Let's say you say, I want 2 shares for my daughter. You send the money in. I will ask you for your daughter's information and everything. I will process it through the system, and I will mail her certificate to you. And then the day you go to Liberia and carry it for her. What I've done, I've been going to Liberia and carry people's certificate, and with me in Liberia, they come there and pick it up. Another thing we wanted to establish an office in Liberia where people can be able to buy share from Liberia, but it goes by again to money, because you can't put somebody in the office to be collecting people money when you know. So a lot of factors are involved. So what we have done, if you really want to buy from Liberia, I tell people, let me know. I will make you contact Fatima. You go, you get the money to Fatima. Fatima will send that money. We'll lock it into the system. Then we send you your share purchase agreement and all your stuff in the mail. Okay, Liberia Postal Service is not all up to start. So what we tend to do is somebody go home, we just send the certificates by them. Yeah, and then they go there and pick it up. That's what we've been doing. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So if I have no other question, I want to say this though. Liberia is not going to change. We don't have the excuse anymore to say the Indians are dominating the market. The Lebanese are dominating the market. We don't have that excuse. Let me tell you something. Most of the Lebanese and the Indians, or let's just say the Arabs that come to Liberia, most of them, I'm saying overwhelming majority of them barely have a high school education. Yeah, I think I'm joking. Overwhelming majority of them barely have a high school education. They come to the country and they dominate. Now, I love these guys because, they're putting money into the Liberian economy. So I commend them for this. But we should not be dominated in our own society. I'm sick of it. We should not be dominating our own society. There's no society on God's green earth where the locals do not dominate economically. We have been dominated. We own no premier hotels in the country. We own nothing. Most recently we're talking about, let's get investors to invest into Canada, not Canada, but Hotel Africa. Why the Liberian Diaspora Corporation cannot do that? Let's get somebody to invest into Ducal Palace. Why the Liberian Diaspora Corporation cannot invest into Ducal Palace? Why are we sitting on the sideline? And Esther, you can buy share 4 ways. The number that on the screen, you can zero your money to that number directly. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation. You can mail your money. You can wire your money. So those are the ways you can purchase a share, or you can go to the website LiberiaDiasporaEquityFund.com. You can check out the website, or you can call me directly on this number. The number is on the screen, 774-578-1963. Call me anytime. Doesn't matter the time. I take calls literally almost throughout the day. So sometimes, I'll call you, return my call. My phone will be busy 24/7. This is actually the number for the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Call me. We can have a discussion. If you have additional questions, you don't want to ask your question on live, you can call me. I will explain it to you and to get you to fully understand what this is. Or you can zero your money directly. When you zero your money, you have to call me, and then I will request some information from you, and then I process the documentation. And don't worry, people, somebody not coming, but why if you die and what will happen to this thing? I say, I know anybody can die. This is not my power farm. This is not for me. This is a corporation. There are other officials that will take over. This money is in an account. It's in the trust. Nobody touch the money. If the shareholders decide to vote tomorrow to go ahead and dissolve it, this is dissolved. To my brother Woti, we don't do Cash App because Cash App has some compromising features to it. And also it has some fees attached to it. So let's say you pay $100. If I go dump that $100 into the account, I gotta pay certain fees. So no, we don't take Cash App. We take 4 different ways you can get money here. Color your live, your name and where you calling from.
Hey, it's Smith. I'm calling from North Dakota.
You're welcome.
Is it possible that I can go to the U.S. bank to deposit my money?
No, we don't do only. You can Zelle from U.S. Bank. The account is with Bank of America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the account is with Bank of America, but you can Zelle. You can get a cashier's check from U.S. Bank, for example. Yep, and you can wire.
What's the Zelle? What's the Zelle name also?
No, the name is Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. But you can take this number on the screen. That's the Zelle. So you can just type in this number, then the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund will pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Hey, but if you're ready to Zelle, you can call me too. Then we can walk through the process. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready to do this Zelle, so I was trying to call you.
Yeah, that is Zelle. The number on the screen.
Initial. If I want 5 shares or
yeah, anything, even at 1 share, that's something, my brother. Anything. Yeah. And I want to also tell you, when you're ready to Zelle, when you tap in the number, make sure it says Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Okay? That is a trigger. Like if you send the money to me, say you tap in my number, my name will pop up. You know what I mean? Okay. Thank you. And then Esther said any amount. You can. The one way your hand it was. I'll tell people the one way your hand it was. However, our target that will get each person to buy 10 shares, which is $1,000. But some people buying 5,000. I mean 5 shares. Some people buying 50 shares. Some people buying 20 shares, 30 shares. The one way it was. Some people buying 1 share. That the one your hand it was. That the one your hand it was. And now I tell people we don't know. Maybe we invest into a juicing factory in Liberia, and then Liberia, no plum, no orange ever growing in Liberia again. We lose. That was a real question. So all the orange that go into waste in Liberia every year, maybe the orange they just start growing in Liberia, then our juicing operation fails. So there are no guarantees. So your 1,000 or your 500 where you invest, yeah, it go, but it don't mean that the end of the world. But yes, what's the end of the world? If we don't do nothing, but then we only criticize the country, this is not fair to Liberia. Look, let me tell people something. And I will say this in another 5-10 minutes, and I will leave you guys. One of the most important reasons why we came to America, let me tell people this. And I believe this to my core, and I like to remind people of this. One of the biggest privilege that's been granted to us by Jehovah God himself to come to a developed country, those of us who were born in third world country, born into abject poverty, one of the greatest privilege that we've been given is to come here to be able to pay it forward. We are on obligation to pay it forward, to be able to lift somebody out of poverty, out of robber's poor. This is the duty that we cannot neglect, to be able to lift somebody out of poverty, out of bloody yellow. I'm not saying we'll go and get in small money. I'm talking about we set up a factory out of bloody yellow, and we put men and women to work. We force and keep the Liberian family together because the man is working, the woman is working. They can be able to take care of proper Liberian family, and we're able to grow the Liberian economy. This is part of our purpose for coming to America, for going to Australia, for going to Western Europe. This is part of our duty. And for far too long, one of the things we have done about that duty is to only go home when it's favorable to us personally. Meaning we go home to undertake government job. I'm not saying government job is a bad thing. That's not what I'm saying. But we got to do more. We got to do more. Yes, this number is also for Zelle, Mr. Cheeks. The number on the screen, you can Zelle the money. When you Zelle it, you call me and I will process. That before the show is over, I will get a few people will send me and I will process them right on this computer. I will call them. We'll have a conversation what they want done. Who the beneficiary. You get up to 6 people as a beneficiary. You can take 1 person or you can do up to 6 people as a beneficiary. It's up to you. Because one thing we don't like to do is we say we don't die. I used to have a side job when I was fresh out of graduate school many years ago. I used to be an insurance salesman. I used to sell life and health insurance. I was licensed in 3 states, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. And when you're talking to Liberian people about life insurance, they say that Bala, you want me to die? That I'm Bala, all over that. I know we don't want to think about it, but it's a reality. So, and one of the things we do, even here in America, when Omen Musa died, we call it $10, $20. But Omen Musa been living in the country for 25 years. but we don't buy life insurance. Then when something happens, then we say this and that. Call your live and even where you calling from.
Hey, hi, Eduardo. This is Solomon. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Hey, Solomon, welcome, sir.
Yeah, I was just listening to the program and the investment that you're talking about. I'm interested in it, but I'm interested in I want to know you said how much for a share?
$100.
$100. Okay.
For one share.
Okay. $100 for a share. Yeah, I'm interested in it. I would like to send my other money, but you will need me a different kind of way to send the money.
So there are 4 ways. Let me name it again for you. Number 1, you can sell it. That number on the screen. Since you're living in Minnesota, you can walk into any Bank of America. You walk inside and you can deposit the money into the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. I will send that information to you. I will send you the account information. I'll send you all the details for the account information. You can deposit money and nobody can withdraw money. Only deposit. A lot of people say, you give me the account number. I said, no, you can't withdraw money. Don't hear you. You can deposit the money. Number 3, you can walk into your personal bank and you get a cashier's check. And you mail the cashier's check to me. And number 4, you can wire the money as well to the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. And I also will send you that information as well.
Yeah, big text.
I'm texting it to you right now as we're speaking, so it will be on your phone momentarily. So you will have all that information. You can just walk into any Bank of America and you say, I want to deposit this money in the account. It will give you a receipt. That very receipt, you take the picture, you send it to me, or you just call me. Then I will verify. I will check in the account and say, okay, yeah, you put the money so and so time because everything is listed on the receipt. Then I will process you through the system.
Okay. Another question I have is, how do you? I know, like you said, I was listening to you say that tomorrow we'll be asking for one more, you'll be asking for your
money.
Your money. No. How long will it take? For me, I'm not ready to present.
I understand. Don't worry about it. Yeah. 3 years. You're committed for 3 years. Minimum 3 years.
So if that's my put $1,000 there,
your return?
Yeah, my return.
Okay, we don't know. So let's assume you put $1,000 there, and then we invest into a juicing factory, right? Somewhere in Banga, for example, and we made profit. So one of your share, your share $100 for one. Maybe now if we make small profit, maybe your juicing, your $100 share now is worth $175. So if you bought 10, that $175 times 10. So your profit on your share will just be $75 for one share. If you bought 10, it will be $75 10 times, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you get your profit. But we don't know. So I can tell you, say, to the year after, your money will be this. I'll be lying to you. Anybody tell you that anywhere in the world they're lying to you, they don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Please send me all the information.
Everything will be on your phone when you hang up. Everything will be on your phone, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Yes, so, yes, and those are valid question. No stupid question, please, because one of the things I love to do is to make sure we get full clarity on everything we are doing. And I want people, I've been driving this point home for a while. There are no guarantee. There is nothing here. It's overnight. Nothing saying, you put your money there tomorrow. You really get all your interest. I don't know where your interest is going to be. I have no idea. But this is what I do know. I know we are going to push to be able to make sure we make our shareholders money. It's part of it. So whatever profit we make, that's how the share price is going to grow. So the number on the screen, Alfonso, if you reach out to me, you text me, just text me, say, Mr. Dollar, if you send me the information, I will text all the information to you. You can walk into any Bank of America, anywhere in America, and deposit the money directly. Hey, Malak, Kalu, welcome to the show. Hello?
Hello, hey, Eduardo, how are you?
How you doing, Ma?
Yes, it seems like I'm late to this.
That's okay.
I don't want you to go back again explaining stuff.
No, that's what I'm here for. I say, please. Okay. Other people will learn too. A lot of people don't want to learn it, but they want to ask, but ask.
Okay, so can you just elaborate a little bit more about what's going on?
Okay, let me give you a little quick summation, right? Okay. So we register a company here in the state of Massachusetts. And the goal is to build a Liberian Diaspora Corporation. So we issued 275,000 shares. here with the state of Massachusetts and the federal government. So this is an American registered corporation with the sole intent to invest in Liberia. So the shares we issue, one share is $100. We are asking Liberians to join us to be able to build Liberian industry. So let's say you bought one share, $100. We'll send the package to you, your beneficiary, whether you want your children to be a beneficiary, your husband, or whoever you want to be a beneficiary. It comes to you in the mail. It's a share purchase agreement will come to you in the mail. The prospectus will come to you in the mail. Everything will come to your address. We will invest, for example, cassava leaf processing factory, for example, in Liberia. And I know you're not eat cassava leaf before, but I can hear on your tongue. Yeah, so that cassava leaf now, we process it in Liberia, we ship it for the US market. And the profit we make now, that one share where you bought for $100, maybe our profit, now your share price is $150, for example. After 3 years, you can cash out. Now, our goal is to achieve 5 things in Liberia with the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Number 1, we want to make our shareholders money. So your $100 share where you bought, my goal is to get it to $3,000. Now you bought it for $100, now it's worth $3,000. So if you bought 10 shares, you times 10 by $3,000. That's your number, for example. That's our dream. Obviously, you won't get more than that. Make our shareholder money. Number 2 is to create thousands of jobs across the country that we controlled by the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Number 3 is to build Liberian industry across the country in different industries. Number 4 is to have economic clout by creating Liberian millionaires and Liberian business people across the country that is being funded through the Liberian Diaspora Bank to give them loans, etc. Number 5 is to get Liberian expertise back to the country so we can truly develop the country. That is the goal of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Like I told other people, this is not an overnight investment. This is not a get quick, rich, quick scheme. This is Bokolokbo. We will invest into this. I will quit my job. I will be living in Liberia, me and my officials. The end date is February 28th of 2027 to purchase a share. After that date, it's a cutoff. You cannot buy a share anymore. So whatever money we raised, that what we are right now, we're a little over 300,000, but we need more money to be able to expand the operation across the country. Now we start with one venture in Liberia. As we grow, we invest into another venture. Eventually, maybe we'll own some vessels. Maybe we'll own 2-3 factories in the country, and then we begin to grow Liberian industry across our country. That's the aim.
Okay, so how do you make the investment? Like, what is it? A bank?
Yeah, so there are 4 ways you can join. 4 ways you can join. Number 1, the number that you're calling on right now, you can use that number to send money to Zelle to the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account. So you can just Zelle the money. You can Zelle $100 there. I will get an alert. Then the way you call me, you will call me. Say, "Oh, Mr. Dwalu, I just sent you $100." Now I say, "Okay, what are they call you? They call you Kroma." I say, "Okay, Mana Kroma, I will log you in the system. I ask you for your name, date of birth, all your particular information. We log you in the system. We process you, and we mail your certificate to you. You can Zelle it. You can wire it. You can get a cashier check. You can mail it." Or you can walk into any Bank of America and deposit the money into the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. All right. And I told her, "Hey, how are you doing, Dwalu? Hey, Paul, what's going on, man? Please pin the information here." Yes, the phone number is on the screen. So let me pin this information real quick, the full information. Let me just read this thing. So the website is Liberia. Not Liberian. Some people put in Liberian. Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund.com. That's the first one. Let me just put space in between here. And the number is 774-578-1963. This one. And then the LDEF, Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund, comma PO Box number 13. That's in Milford, Massachusetts, 01757. So all the information that you need is there. Check out the website. Like I said, everything is on the website as well. Check it out. So on the screen, you can see there's a website, Liberia Diaspora Equity Fund.com. If you go there, all the information you need will be there. The phone number is on the screen also. That's 774-578-1963. The PO box, if you want to mail your cashier's check, that's Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, PO Box 13, Milford, Massachusetts 01757. That's the information. You can go there directly. So how do I be part when I'm living in Monrovia, Liberia? Great question. Same way, we answer that question. Several ways you can be there. Number one, you can have a relative of yours in America purchase it for you, or you send the money to them. That's one way you can do it. Number two, you can, and you will get your certificate. For instance, I go to Liberia quite frequently. I will print your certificate when I come into Liberia. I bring it with me, or when somebody come here, I send it to them. I have a few people already born in Liberia. If you really need it automatically, I can have you get to Fatima. Fatima will get your money, and then she will send it to me. Then we'll process the documentation. When somebody come in, we'll send it to you. I had a guy walk, actually came from all the way Riverside County. Asif Atuba, actually in Liberia, he's the CFO of this operation. I got rapid $100 US. He rapid from all the way to Rosa County and brought it. We printed his share. We packaged it. I went to Liberia. I took his share purchase agreement, his certificate, and I sent it. It went back to Riverside. So he bought it from Riverside County. He bought that he one share, which is a big deal, a massive big deal. So we want to say you can buy from anywhere globally. People have bought from Scandinavia. They have bought from Western Europe. They have bought from Australia. People are bought, for America, literally in every state, people are bought where Liberian are concentrated. So these are some of the things we want to do. But listen, I just came here to talk to you guys about this so we can continue to fight to build Liberian industry. Nobody's going to develop that country. And that excuse, that tired and poor excuse about, the foreigner come, they control everything. The foreigner controlling everything because we have refused to compete. And competition is not going to have mercy for you. Competition is brutal. Competition is aggressive. Competition is relentless. So if we want to compete and outcompete the foreigners in the country, we got to collaborate. But let me tell you something. Most Liberians are not rich people. Most of all, we are not rich. We're not coming from, unless small people that want to government, they still having money. But even those people, they barely have a lot of money unless people that know how to stretch their money and they open businesses and and they're able to stretch that money. But most people do it from hand to mouth. So if we are going to grow something substantial in the country where our generation builds it up and then our children take it over, that's how you build it. So this is not an overnight thing. Color your life, the final color for the night.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
I'm Alfonso Gaga.
Hey, Mr. Gaga, what's up?
How you doing?
I can't complain, Chief.
Good adventure. Thank you for the program.
Yes, sir.
Will you please mail text me the account information?
Yeah, I will text all that to you. No big deal. Everything on the script. I will text it to you right now as we are talking, so you can have that information.
I sent a text for you.
Oh yeah, I'm still live. Okay, I just saw your text. So let me mail it to you right now while we are talking. So you will have everything in the mail. Let me know whatever you need, and then any additional question, you call me. And then we'll be able to ask that question. Answer your question just to make sure we cover all the bases, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem, bro. Thank you for calling. And that's the final caller for the night. And let me send this in to Mr. Gaga. He has it. And somebody said, Monrovia, Liberia, how much have you raised so far? A little over 300,000. We believe we can do more. Like I said, our targeted goal initially was 25 million. We issued 275,000 shares, but at the end of the day, whatever we raise, if we would get to 1 million, we'll be happy. It's better than nothing. We got to start from somewhere to be able to do more. But once again, man, I really appreciate you guys for popping in here and spending some time with me to talk about the area so we can continue to do this. Look, I will leave you guys again with what I said before. The government of the Republic of Liberia, like any other government globally, are responsible for three things in a society. Three things. I understand we can complain, the government do that. Number one, the government is responsible for security of the state and its citizens. In fact, this is constitutional. The government is responsible. Number two, the government is responsible for the hardcore infrastructure, bridges, roads, etc., etc. The hardcore infrastructure. Number three, the government is responsible for regulations, regulatory oversight, the courts, regulations as it relates to EPA, employment regulations, etc. Those type of things, that's what the government is responsible for. The rest of the stuff, over 90% of what builds a society, we have to do it. The citizens of that society have to do that. This cannot be done by an individual. This must be done by Liberian citizens themselves. If we want to see Wiala transform, we have to put something in Wiala that transforms Wiala. Now we can make the noise for the government to build the roads and the connecting hospitals, etc. But we can also build private hospitals in Wiala, for example. Now, over time, we can actually control Liberia. Let me tell you something. I don't care how much we talk, how much we scream. If we don't have economic clout, we have no controls in the country. And there is a saying that the foreigners will come to the country, they will say, we got a government in our pocket. I think it helped me. It can get to my soul. Because it's an upfront, it's a total disrespect to us all in the country. And I'm not blaming them. We put ourselves in a predicament. We put ourselves in a disadvantageous position where a foreigner will come to the country and say, we've got your government in my pocket, there's nothing you can do to me. And most of us are poor. They will treat us anyhow. But if we can grow some economic might in the country, we can groom some Liberian millionaires across our country, where we control the lot of our society, people will not talk to us in that fashion. Economically, we must control Liberia. It is okay for your one to take your 10,000 naira, your 20,000 naira. You say you're going to Liberia to open your business. There's nothing wrong with that. I will always encourage that, and that's great for the society. But if we want to grow very aggressively, we must come with one fist, a giant fist. Let's say, around B Mountain, you want to dig gold out of King Jaw, we want 30%. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation want 30%. We collaborate. You come in, we own 30% of B Mountain. B Mountain came to Liberia, they barely invested $50 million into the country. They are pulling out of Liberia right now about $1 billion a year. That's $100 million. They invested less than $50 million initially. And when they started taking out enough gold before they invested more into Liberia. So imagine the Liberian Diaspora Corporation own 30% of B Mountain. Right now, off our coast, especially the way in Maryland County, we have a company, I forget the name there, they're searching for oil right now. All they were able to raise for $14 million. They're searching for oil. If they find the oil off the coast of Liberia, they become multi-billionaires. But imagine, you want to search that, we do our research, the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, we able to come with all the 14 million, we're coming up with the first 5 million, we want 25% into the oil well. As we grow, we get our own oil well. We get our own experts, our own engineer. They come, they do their research. Now the Liberian Diaspora Corporation owns the oil well. If we sit down and we think, say, oh, that thing that the other people will continue to be exploited, we must grow Liberian economic might in the country if we are going to have a voice in Liberia. And I believe through the corporation, through the Liberian Diaspora Corporation, this is more than possible. I am not saying to anybody it will be easy. Nothing will be easy. And I'm not saying to anybody that there is no guarantee. That's why I continue to tell people, don't put your retirement inside. It are 10 shares, it's not going to kill you. If you want to buy 50 shares, it's not going to kill you. But at least we're able to grow something in the country. Look, let me tell you something. If we just invested in cassava leaf processing, I'm going to say that before I go. If we just invested in cassava leaf processing for the American market, the planes are leaving Liberia, literally maybe every day plane leave Liberia. They got these very small, compact, it looks like container, but a miniature container that goes in the bottom of these giant planes that come to Liberia sometime. And you have a collaboration with them. They're coming into New York. Once they come to New York, they're the size of a little box truck. They come to New York, we pack it with cassava leaf. It going straight out of New York, for example. We got a small cold storage in New York that bringing our kitty, bringing our cassava leaf for distribution across the globe, across America, for example, to begin with. So let's say you say 9 minutes so that you want to eat cassava leaf, you order a cassava leaf from the Liberian Diaspora Corporation store online. We package your stuff out of New York, we ship it to you. We just process cassava leaf alone. We can create almost 5,000 jobs across the country. We don't have to pay the indirect job. We tell man, Quebec, out of Bapuli, you plant cassava, we'll buy the leaves from you. Guarantee. Anybody who plant cassava in the country will buy the leaf from you. Now we'll become the largest cassava leaf processing facility in the country. We'll bring the machinery, for example. Maybe next time now, we expand it into the cassava processing. We expand it into juicing operation. Even if we don't get to where I dream about, or other people dream about doing something in Liberia. Maybe, but because we laid the foundation, our children will take it to the next level. This is the vision. This is the dream. And I want to thank you guys for really popping in with us this afternoon. Remember the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. The deadline is February 28th of 2027. You still have time, but I recommend people do it. And let's get something going in the country to build Liberian industry and pay this forward. We did not just come to America to only take care of ourselves. We came to America to be able to look back to Liberia to build something for all of posterity. For our children to come, they say, oh, our grandparents went to America, but they didn't want to build the massive factory out of Bapolu that developed Bapolu City. They didn't want to build this massive industry out of Robertsport that brought Cape Mount to this new level where the average income in Cape Mount went from $1,000 per year, now it's up to $10,000 per year. It takes gradual progression over time. And this is what I'm asking you guys to join this effort. Let's do something that's going to transform Liberia. The government will do its part, but we got more money than the government. The government only got $1 billion budget. $1 billion. Okay, $1.3 billion. Let me call it OT. $1.3 billion budget. They're doing a great job so far under the current administration. $1.3 billion budget. We have a minimum of $20 billion a year here in the West. $20 billion. Imagine if we really find out what $25 million we put into the country. We can make the government do what we want the government to do. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation can decide who becomes president. This is how powerful this organization could be. It can decide who becomes senator. It can decide who becomes a mayor or superintendent of a county. It will decide how people vote because now we have clout in the country. When you hear me talking about influence and clout, this is what I'm talking about. In the industrial clout, remember, 5 tasks of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Number 1, make our shareholders money. Number 2, create thousands of jobs across the country we control. Number 3, to build Liberian industry across the country. Number 4, to be able to have economic clouds across the country by creating local Liberian businessmen and women who eventually become millionaires to develop their own location. And number 5 is to be able to get Liberian expertise back to the country. This is the aim of the corporation. And I will continue to ask you guys, join us. Let's build Liberian industry. You're taking plenty for popping in here.